There we go. All right. Hey, thanks for joining us today. I'm meteorologist Taylor Cox. We appreciate you jumping onto your forecast today. Here at HailTrace, we are dressing up for Halloween and celebrating Halloween on this Thursday afternoon as we approach the Friday holiday, as many people like to call it. So I'm a monarch butterfly today. The monarchs are in migration, so we'll be talking more about the monarch migration on our social media pages, but I'm going to go ahead and step off screen, get back into my meteorologist costume, and we're going to talk about the headlines today. So let's go ahead and talk about the stormy Thursday for the mid-Atlantic. See, the mid-Atlantic is going to see storms today that bring both a wind and a tornado threat. As we take you farther out into the Atlantic, Melissa officially makes its last round of big waves in the Atlantic. It is headed for Bermuda. Melissa will pass by Bermuda later on this evening. And of course, we have our Halloween forecast. So we are going to see more of our costumes from HailTrace later on in this forecast. Stick around until the very end, and we'll talk about some of the costumes that everyone has dressed up today as around the office. Let's go ahead and take a look at storm reports. Over the last 2 days, we did see just along the Texas-Louisiana state line, a lot of activity in that area. We also saw across places like the southeastern portion of the U.S. Oh, look at that low pressure system. Look at that spin right there. They were impacted by that low pressure system, and we are still seeing the impacts of that. You can still see the spin as it continues to track to the east and bring those storms to the east coast. So we're really watching in this area for storms today. Let's go ahead and take a look at your current conditions outside right now. Again, we're watching for all of this rain across the northeast, bringing that flood concern to some, but really that severe risk to many, just along places like North Carolina, Virginia, and Maryland. Moving down to the south, Florida looks really, really quiet right now. The central portion of the U.S. also very quiet at the moment, and out to the west, no rain right now. However, that's going to change as we head into the later portion of the week. Now let's talk about the severe risk for today. Very, very little severe risk today. Your hail risk, if any at all, is going to be out in your Maryland and New York. If we see any sort of hail today, it'll be small, smaller than severe threshold. So your max forecasted hail size today may be very, very, very isolated quarter, but I don't expect any quarter size hail today. I would expect something smaller or no hail at all. We do have an updated tornado forecast for you. We have a marginal risk for some of these early afternoon storms that are ongoing right now. A level 1 risk for tornadoes anywhere from Philadelphia to Ocean City. Very similar for that wind forecast as well. The National Weather Center, the Storm Prediction Center, taking off some of these southern cities and adding on some of these northern cities like Philadelphia and Baltimore for some of these early afternoon storms. Now, taking a look at your future radar, we've got two things going on right now. We've got this low pressure system that's spinning out in the northeast, and then we've also got that hurricane that's farther out into the Atlantic. Let's go ahead and take a look at your storm timeline for today. As we zoom down into places like New York, Philadelphia, Boston, you can see all of that rain that they're getting that's coming up from the Atlantic, dumping a ton of water in this area. We could see a spin-up tornado or two, and we could also see some high wind in this area. It's not going to be widespread, but it's possible as we head into the afternoon hours. This will wrap up pretty soon. I think this will wrap up closer to 3, maybe 4 o'clock Central Time, talking about 5 o'clock Eastern Time there. Moving on now, what happens for the rest of the week? Well, as we get into the Halloween forecast here, you're going to see showers and storms across the northeast and across the northwest. But the rest of the country, you guys are staying quiet. We are quiet all the way through the central portion of the U.S. here, not just this week, but also this weekend as well. As we head into early next week, we are going to really struggle to get any rain in this area. Let's go ahead and talk about that long-term forecast here. There's Thursday, no severe risks on Friday, no severe risks on Saturday at the moment. Now that could change, so make sure that you come back for your daily forecast. But right now it looks like we're really focusing on the northwest and northeast corner of the U.S. You can see that low pressure system as it spins up to the northeast. And then you can see that we've got incoming rain on Saturday and Sunday out to the northwest. The rest of the U.S., for the most part, stays pretty dry. Let's take a look at your long-term rainfall outlook as well. Flood outlook for today, we've got a level 1 risk to the northeast, I'm going to say it again, the corners of the U.S. here. That's really where we're watching for rain. You can see it up there in the northwest and in the northeast. All right, I'm tired of saying northwest, northeast over and over and over, so let's take a look at your day-by-day rainfall totals here. What we're watching for is slowly some very, very light rain coming into the central portion of the U.S. as we head into Saturday and maybe even Sunday. But after that, we stay dry. Some of our rainfall totals in places like Oklahoma and Texas are going to be slim to none for at least the next 5 to 6 days. We're going to stay dry for quite some time in these areas. So if you need to water your lawn, maybe you do that now to keep up the good rain, that we had a few days ago. Other than that, I think we're going to look very, very dry, more fall-like as we head into next week. Let's take you out to the mid-Atlantic now. What we're watching for here, or I guess fully into the Atlantic now. Let's take you out to the Atlantic. What we're watching for here is Hurricane Melissa in its last little leg. Okay, it's officially gone through the Bahamas. Next step is Bermuda. Many storms have been right by Bermuda this year. One more time to remind you how significant Melissa was. If you remember what we talked about back whenever it made landfall, is that this was breaking records. It was tied for the 3rd strongest hurricane ever recorded, and the strongest hurricane tied to ever make landfall, tied with that Labor Day storm. So it has finally weakened. Now a Cat 2 hurricane, still that pressure very impressive at 965 millibars, moving to the north-northeast at 24 miles an hour. Really picked up speed here. Where is it going? It looks like it's going to go just to the west of Bermuda, so barely missing Bermuda, however, I know that they've got some watches and warnings in place right now, just to prepare for some of those higher winds and larger waves coming their way. Still a Cat 2 hurricane as we head into the later portion of tonight, but finally back to that Cat 1 for tomorrow, and then into a tropical storm category as we head into the weekend. Melissa, what a historic storm at the end of the season as well. Melissa was breaking records earlier this week. It's still churning in the Atlantic. It looks like we've got a lot of agreements from spaghetti models here showing that this storm is going to continue to track out to the north and east at about 24 miles an hour. Now, if we do get another named storm, just a reminder, we are still technically in hurricane season. We could see another named storm. Nestor would be our next name. Olga after that. So far this year, we've had 14 named storms, which is about average for a full season. We got 18 storms last year, a little above average there. And our forecast for this year was 12 to 17 named storms. So a little above average is what we forecasted for this year. We're right at average right now, but we still have some time left in hurricane season. We're at the very end of October, which means we have just a few more days left of hurricane season, which ends on November 30th. So we've got about 31, I think that's correct, more days of hurricane season here. Let's bring you back on land. Let's talk about that Halloween forecast now. All right, let's go ahead and talk about cooler temperatures moving in by Friday. Ooh, just about average, maybe a bit below average, which is perfect for your Halloween forecast. Actually, before we continue this forecast, I'm gonna put my costume back on and we're gonna make this spooky forecast. We're gonna go full out here. So we've got some cooler temperatures coming our way. A lot of that is going to feel very, very fall-like. It looks like temperatures could be below 10, maybe 15 degrees below what we would normally see this time of the year. So how you could explain that is if your normal temperature is 70 degrees, maybe your actual temperature by Halloween will be 60, maybe 65 for your high. Alrighty, so we are back in costume now, and I would also like to welcome back on meteorologist Michaela Smith. Ooh, very, very spooky. Now, tell everyone what you're dressed as here.
I am just dressed as a Harry Potter character. I'm wearing Gryffindor, even though technically I'm actually a Ravenclaw. I found that out after I'd already bought all this stuff, so we're just like full committing to it. Some people may say I'm Hermione. I got the glasses like maybe Harry. I think this is technically Harry's wand. But I'm a big Harry Potter fan. I grew up reading the books, watching the movies, so I like to dress as Harry Potter.
A little bit of each character here.
I'm just whatever you want to. I'm a wizard.
It's perfect for the forecast too because you've got your pointer right there.
I do.
I mean,
I can like, it's like I'm teaching. I can like point to all the different cities, and I feel kind of like a teacher, honestly, right now. It's like a whiteboard behind me.
I feel like you have the perfect costume as well because people may need their jacket for Halloween this year. It does look a little bit cooler on Friday, but maybe a little bit warmer on Saturday. So depending on which day you get out, you may need your jacket, which you've got your jacket, your cape.
My robes,
already.
yeah, all of it on.
Your
You know,
robe.
it helps to, especially this morning in Oklahoma, it was in like the 30s.
It was
So when
chilly.
I walked out this morning, I was like wrapping my robe around me, and it was like a jacket. It was great. So yeah, it would be a great costume if you're like needing something last minute. This would be fantastic.
Okay, you've got two good Halloween ideas here. You've got either Monarch Butterfly or Harry Potter.
Or if you look at our social media later, Taylor's gonna have another costume on. So even though we're celebrating Halloween a day early, we're gonna have a lot of fun stuff today and tomorrow in our forecast. And you will be wearing something else. So if you guys want to see
You guys, yes.
Taylor's other costume, go over to our social media because you're gonna be missing out on a really cool costume.
A really fun costume. I go over above and beyond for this next costume. So it may look very minimal right now. That is going to change here in a few minutes. We're going to go upstairs, record that social media, stick it on all of our platforms. So make sure that you follow us on there. We've got a costume change coming up.
We have the costumes. We have pumpkins. We had like a pumpkin decorating contest at work. Taylor also went full out with that. So you guys don't want to miss all the fun Halloween content coming today, tomorrow, maybe even Saturday. We might make it 3 days. Halloweekend.
Halloweekend. All right. Well, while you're celebrating, we'll go ahead and give you the forecast. Thank you, Michaela, for joining us today. It's so much fun to have multiple people back here and make this a fun forecast. But let's go ahead and finish out here with your warmer temperatures for tomorrow, for Saturday and Sunday. So the weekend looks warmer. However, Friday looks a little bit cooler. Let's go ahead and move to those actual temperatures so you can look at the high in your area. We've got 54 for a high this afternoon in Denver. We're still sitting in the 60s here in Oklahoma City. Overnight lows drop down to freezing for a few of us, but a lot of us stay just above that 32 mark, and we're in the upper 30s and low 40s. Tomorrow afternoon, temperatures are in the 50s and 60s, so if you're headed out to trick-or-treat tomorrow afternoon or evening, you may need a jacket. A light jacket for some farther down to the south, but maybe a heavier jacket farther up to the north. Now, the good news with this is that we will stay dry across most of the U.S. The only places that are getting rain on Friday and Saturday are the Northwest and the Northeast. So those places will get rain, but the rest of us are dry. We're not expecting that severe weather, that winter weather, none of that expected over the next 48 hours here. So whatever you do, jacket or no jacket, you won't need an umbrella. Let's go ahead and skip forward all the way into November. We're talking about November 4th through the 8th here. Hey, look, I matched the graphics here. Our colors are very, very similar. We are still seeing those warmer temperatures as we head into the very beginning of November. We're talking about warmer than average for a good portion of the western portion of the U.S. Now, what worries me about this is that not only are we talking about those pretty seasonably warm temperatures, but also dry weather. So this could lead to a fire concern as we head into the very beginning of November. We get into some of those drier months. We get less rain anyway. If we're below average here, we could really start to see some of those drought conditions return. So thanks for joining us today. Of course, we'll be tracking all of those storms for you throughout the weekend. Wherever they're at, northwestern portion of the U.S., northeastern portion of the U.S., we'll have an eye on it. If there's anything severe that returns to the forecast next week, we will also be tracking that for you. Meteorologist Michaela Smith will have your forecast next week. Go ahead, in the meantime, follow us on all of our social media platforms. We post not only timely but also educational videos on these social media platforms. And give us a call if you're interested in a hail, tornado, or wind map. This nice weather is perfect to go rework some of those storms that you may have missed earlier in the year. So make sure that you get out and really take advantage of this nice weather that we have coming later this week and next week. All right, go ahead and give us a call at 855-334-4245 or email us at info@hailtrace.com. Head over to our website for more information, hailtrace.com. We'll see you back here, same time, same place, for your forecast tomorrow.